Hey everyone, welcome to Let's Talk About It. Happy Saturday. I hope y'all had a great week and I'm so excited to be back. Thanks to everyone who watched us last week. I'm Star Dacia, one of the co-hosts for Let's Talk About It.
And I am Dawn King.
I am Dominique Johnson. Thank you guys for tuning in. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about today is manifestation. And it's so amazing because Star and I actually on the way here was just getting so much confirmation that this is that manifestation. It is manifestation season. And I say that to say that everyone around the world is capable of getting in touch with their intuition and getting in touch with the things that they really want out of life. And I'm here to tell you that you can get anything that you want out of life, anything that your heart set on, anything that you desire, you can have. And this is a season of new beginnings, of new times. And it's happening. It's real. What you think, Star? You think it's happening?
Honestly, it is happening. Like sometimes you just can't deny that things are changing, things are happening. Like it's totally undeniable. Like you constantly receive the confirmations, like you said. And, it's just good to start the year off with so much positive energy, with so many aspirations, and actually feeling it, actually feeling like you are in a better place and you're not just talking about it, but it's actually happening around you. So I truly believe in manifestation. So I'm excited. What you think, Dawn?
I like how y'all got on this yellow. Look, I knew y'all was in sync. Y'all got on this yellow. Y'all like, yes, in sync. That
It
is
was
so
not
dope.
planned.
It wasn't planned. It wasn't planned.
I really like that. Manifestation is real. I think that a lot of people, think it's a joke. It feels so good to, feel like you're doing the right thing. It feel like, you tackling life. Like, okay, this happened, but I'm taking it down. And I really like that. I really like it.
And the thing is that like it's so hard, it's so easy to fall into this mode of thinking that you can't achieve something because I'm not worthy of it, or how can I possibly do that, or how can I possibly see that through. But
Mhm.
you have to know that all the answers that you need are already inside of you, that you
Mhm.
already got everything that it takes to do it what it is that you're being guided to do. And so you have to trust yourself and you have to trust the process. And I
Right.
think that's sometimes the hardest thing to do is to trust the process, especially when we go through different things and manifesting those dreams into reality. It's it's believing it so wholeheartedly with your soul that is the truth, and not allowing any doubts to change that. Your thoughts are your actions, and your actions become your reality. So it's so important that you understand your thoughts, and that's what manifestation is channeling your intuition and connecting with what it is that you want to do, and making it a reality.
So I have a question, because, with having, a broad audience and, having people that's, into religious beliefs and,
Mhm.
they are afraid to talk about manifestation and meditation inside of the church house.
Right.
How can we tie those two together so believers can understand like this isn't technically
Going
wrong?
against what you're saying. Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. That's a good question. And I think that for so long, we've been in these systems that have been set for so many years that people have been attached to these different systematic things, and it's hard. See, the thing is, I feel like just like in church, they say your religion is Christianity, because that's what I'm familiar with the most. That's what I can speak of. But when you pray, you manifest it. When you praying to God and you give all your worries to Him and you say, be anxious for nothing but in everything by prayer and supplication, let your request be made known to God. When you say that, those words, when you praying, you're manifesting because you is believing wholeheartedly with all your soul that God got you and He's gonna guide you to whatever He's gonna do. And that's the exact same concept. And so people who are in religious affiliation, they don't need to be fearful of this idea because they're already practicing it in their culture without even realizing.
Right.
Amen.
Like
that was such a good answer. Oh my gosh. And when
that
she
was
asked
great.
the question, that's what I was thinking. I was like, it can't be a difference. Like, I don't understand how people can go, like, think that it's going against your religion when it's basically the same thing. You just, praying to God. When other people, they pray to the universe, they pray to whatever it is they believe in. Like, I just feel like it's all the same thing. We just all have, different people that we pray to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. Listen, these questions, because I'm really like interested in stuff like this. So another question I have, do y'all believe in that is a such thing in good manifestation and bad manifestation? Because everything you think you need is not what you need, but you already done manifested and it's too late. So what are y'all opinions on that?
I think, I feel like, of course, it's bad manifestation because, like, for example, I think, like, with our generation, a lot of people, they want to be Facebook famous or TikTok famous, because I'm on TikTok all the time, TikTok famous. And once you get that fame, you have to really think like you're now in the limelight. So it's like literally nothing that you can do. Like, I look at people who blow up and they're constantly trying to defend themselves on like little small stuff. Like, this is something that you wanted, but were you really ready to handle what you manifested? Yeah. So I feel like it is some type of bad manifestations. And then sometimes, how some people like play, like when they talk, they don't really realize that they manifest and stuff. So you could probably be playing and, saying something, just playing or whatever. And you didn't sit here and manifest it. I done heard so many stories of people, say, God forbid, like say like, oh, well, I'm a die today. Not me, God forbid. But, people say that type of stuff and it really ends up happening. And that's a bad manifestation because the power of the tongue is real. So,
yes, you spot on. I agree. You is spot on. Like, manifestation, like, it does work that way because if you, just like I was saying earlier, your thoughts become your reality. So if you say that you believe that you're ugly, you believe that you're fat, you believe that you ain't good enough, you believe those things, that's gonna be a reality. That's what's gonna be perceived by other people as well because you created this reality for yourself. But you have the power to change your thoughts and look in the mirror and say, I'm beautiful every moment. And that's the power of manifestation. And like you're saying, it could definitely be a bad or a good thing for sure. You gotta be careful of what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Power. And I was actually reading something the other day. I'm Christian, so I was reading something the other day how sometimes, the devil actually makes you curse yourself. So he will put a thought in your head about something and you say it out loud and you've cursed yourself. The devil didn't actually do anything. You said it out loud because like the power of the tongue. So you said it out loud and now you living in a curse that you didn't put on yourself because you didn't say something that you were thinking.
Right. That's good, Dawn.
That is good. Yes.
That's why you have to be able to differentiate those, those voices.
It's mostly discernment. Yeah.
Discernment. But how do we, while talking about all this, how do you trust the journey throughout? Because, like I said, it is a process. And in manifestation, it works in two ways. You believe it, you say it, and then you have to continuously do that. You have to continuously put in the work. And it's a process. And there's gonna be times where like John was saying, the devil or the negative energies or whatever it is that you believe that negative is gonna try to hinder you because they're like, oh no, you we don't want you there. and they're gonna and that's when you're gonna feel those anxiety attacks and those depression those. It just seemed like everything that could go wrong, going wrong.
Right.
But you gotta trust the process and know that your intuition and that God that's telling you that you need to be doing what you're doing, that you need to keep doing what you're doing. And a lot of times when you're doing what you're doing, that's when you start seeing all the crazy stuff going around.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I think about when it comes to trusting the process is understanding time. Like timing is so key. Like I had an experience, 2020 was crazy for all of us, right? And I made a vision board for 2020. And literally, I laughed at myself when I looked at it at the end of the year because none of that stuff happened. And then I just heard a voice come to me, and God was like, I am time. I'm before time. I'm after time. I control time. So we just have to trust in the timing of things. Like there's a such thing of like God's perfect timing. And that's the hardest thing about, this journey to manifestation, seeing things come into fruition is being patient, just trusting that everything will happen in its right timing.
Most definitely. I think it's very hard to trust the process because, like Star was saying, like we want things to happen in our time. We want it to happen like when we say it's going to happen and stuff like that. So I know I've struggled with trusting the process until you just sit down and then you realize when you actually listen to what God is saying and you actually listen to the Holy Spirit, it's like, do I really want it? Like as bad as I think I want it? Because I feel like the beauty is in the process. It's in the process rather than the actual destination. I think it feels so good to like when you get to where you want to be and you look back on what you have to go through. I think it's just like, would I actually be here if I didn't have to go through all of that? So I feel like trusting the process is a very essential thing to do. Grace upon grace, blessings upon blessings.
Yes.
That's good. I'm feeling this energy. Like I'm just feeling all of these positive vibrations. Like, yes.
I love it. I love it. So I do want to know, so Dom, how do you think about balancing optimism and realism? So how do you feel like we can balance that? I'm sorry about this, son. I tried to do something different, but it's not working.
What is your friend?
This one really loves me.
Yes, it does. Oh, that was optimism and realism. So I think this is if you okay, whatever you believe in. I'm gonna use a Bible verse because that's what's speaking to me right now. There's a Bible verse that talks about not that. Oh, one of y'all gotta help me out. But it's the Bible verse that says don't think with your mind. Don't trust your mind.
Lean not on your own understanding. Always acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths.
Yes. And that's the key right there. Is yes, you gotta you. Sometimes the realism aspect people associate with like logical reasoning. Like say like you're trying to work towards a goal, but on the other hand, you're being held back because you feel like, oh, I can't go off and start this business because I need financial security. I need to have this job. But it's that moment that you take that leap of faith and you go through, and like we were talking about before, trusting that journey and knowing that during this season, it's going to be hard and it's not going to look like what you manifesting, but eventually, if you trust the process, it's going to be there. So, yes, you can think logically, but that's why you have to be so in tune with your intuition, because if you know and you feel in your gut that what you're doing and what you're supposed to be doing is what you're supposed to be doing, then trust that, even if it goes against what society may deem as realistic or as achievable, because anything is achievable.
You know what's popping up in my mind? This is probably a horrible example, you guys, but this is a talk show, and I just have to tell y'all, I'm in school for IO psychology, and I'm at a private Christian school, and a lot of my classmates are Republicans, they are Trump supporters. So I'm gonna tell y'all a little example when it comes to optimism versus realism. There are a lot of Republicans that still believe Trump will be in office. You
Mm.
know, and I use that as an example because to the natural eye, it's like totally like impossible. Like, you know, the inauguration already happened. But
Yeah.
they're looking at something, they're looking through another lens, believing with all of them that Trump is still gonna be president. And that's a crazy example, but you know, I just think it kind of fit in, you know,
You
sometimes.
know what? Going to that, I was watching something the other day. Look, I be learning stuff on TikTok, okay? So you know how like a lot of people have those Simpson predictions or whatever?
Mhm.
So one of the Simpson predictions, you know, was that, you know, our president will fall. That's what somebody said. Our president will fall and somebody else will come up, but it won't be Trump or anybody. It'll be a female leader. So that's what I heard. Yeah, that's what I learned on TikTok, sadly.
That's crazy. So many conspiracy theories, like, and then
Oh,
getting
yes.
No, but that's they said those
I love conspiracy theories.
that's true. Listen, like I was just talking to somebody and they was telling me that this is the season of Aquarius. And what the season of Aquarius means is that the females for so long have been burdened down and they've been like in this position where they didn't have that power. They couldn't have that voice. And now it's the wheels are turning and women are finding their voice and we're
Yes.
positions of power. And that's what he was telling me. So the fact that you say that, that's just so that's
Yes, like it's so crazy. Like I believe honestly that it can happen. Like it can happen. So that's so great, man.
hey, hey.
hey Lisa, thank you.
Yes. So since we're all in school, yes, we all, you know, doing our little thing, trying to get them degrees, okay? How do you think can college really like make or break you? Like how do y'all feel like college plays in? Like, yes, we gonna get them degrees, okay, because we want to make that money. But as far as like it goes into like mental health and how we like carry ourselves, you know, how we view the world, how do you feel like, you know, college can make or break that?
Okay, I'll go first. You guys, I had, like I told y'all some stories, but I had such a rough undergrad experience, you know, because I experienced HBCU, so I experienced going to the HBCU and then I experienced going to a PWI. Total different cultures. I was culturally shocked, you know, growing up in Savannah and being, you know, around, you know, African Americans majority of my life, everything was always urban to me. It was
Mhm.
a significant culture shock for me to go to a PWI in the mountains of North Georgia. So, you know, diversity is really important in college, but I feel like when it comes to mental health, oh man, it's so many layers to this, but
Mhm.
how can I put this? You have to put yourself first. I know that you are there to learn and to make good grades, you know, to network and join different associations, but you have to make sure you are right inside and you are aligned because there have been so many people to commit suicide in college. Like even at, I went to Kennesaw State University. I graduated
Mhm.
in 2017, five committed suicide
Wow.
because of the workload, and not just the workload, but then you have these professors who really don't understand, you know, like a lot of these students, they have to work a full-time job, they have to pay their mom bills. Like I had a classmate who had to pay her mom bills and she has to do schoolwork, and then we have to worry about if we are going to even get a job in our field when we graduate. So I
Mhm.
feel like, you know, college will prepare you for the real world, and it's good to go through those experiences so you can, you know, train yourself how to maneuver through, you know, this society when it comes to the workforce, because it's not easy. But at the
Mhm.
same time, you have to trust in yourself and just, you know, live simplistic to just kind of balance things out.
Mhm.
And I don't think that it's necessarily college that can necessarily break your mental health, but there's definitely a lot. I feel like even with my own experience, I went through so much in college, and I'm still in college, and I'm still, trying to find myself. But I think that that's why you go through so much, because you're going through this phase between leaving the nest and entering the adult world, and you're like stuck in this like middle ground, and then you're like you figure out who you are and separate your truth from maybe how you were raised. And you're meeting all these new people with all these different ideologies coming at you, and you don't even know what
That's a great point.
and it can be a lot, but I
Yeah,
think it's also like the best time for you to find your voice.
most definitely. Because you're trying to work on yourself while finding yourself, and I really like that. I really like that. And just like Star said, culture shock, man. I was living in the projects, and then I came to this school with these rich ass white kids. Oh my gosh, it was so hard trying to find out who am I, man. It was crazy. Like I felt like I was going crazy. So I do agree with that. That was beautiful.
It's good to have a balance though. Like, diversity is important, and to see, both sides of the world, it's
Right.
important. But I definitely feel like it's something that we need to talk about in middle school, high school. They need to prepare. Listen, they are preparing these kids for college now, because a lot of these students that's online learning, complaining about all of their assignments due, they're being prepared for college now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's true. That's true.
College is no joke.
Thank you, Auntie. I love you. So, talking about mental health, like the current state of mental health in the community, what are y'all thoughts on that? Like, do y'all feel like the community is accepting of mental health, or do you feel like there still is a lot of work to do in terms of us?
No, the community is not very accepting of mental health. I feel like we're getting there, but not very accepting of it. I will, go ahead and say this. So I was diagnosed with bipolar depression. And I remember it happened before COVID hit. And I was telling my mom about it. Like I was telling my mom, I think I want to go to psychiatrist because, I'm not really feeling like myself. I'm not in my usual environment. Things are getting pretty weird. And she did not like the idea. She was like, they're just going to put you on medications and make you go crazy. Okay, so I put it off for a very long time, and eventually some stuff went down, and I'm like, no, I need to go see a psychiatrist. And I did. I got on medications, and I feel better than ever. Do I have my days? Most definitely, but I feel better than ever. So I would say it's something that we should talk about instead of putting fear into everybody, just trying to brush it off and make them seem like they're okay. I feel like more people in our community have mental health issues than we want to admit, but we just try to write it off as, that's just how he is, or, it's not worth it because, I don't really know. Like, I don't understand why is it such a bad thing to, have a mental health problem, and why can't it be discussed? Why do we have to go through all of this, just to be ourselves or just to get a point across? It's crazy.
Yes, I totally agree. And thank you for opening up and sharing that experience, because I know, that's been tough to deal with, especially, being a part of the community that's not really, I wouldn't say accepting of it, but they don't really try to gain understanding of mental health. They're even trained to be so hard and, put on this facade like everything is going to be okay. And yes, we do come from strong people, but at the end of the day, it's causing a lot of trauma in our communities. I'll share a story. My brother, one of his friends, since middle school, he committed suicide years ago. And I was talking to his cousin, and he was so hurt, depressed, like, things haven't been the same in their family ever since he passed. But he said he remember one day he was sitting on the floor, crisscross applesauce, and he had a Bible in his lap, and he was just sitting there staring. And he was like, "Man, what's wrong with you? Like, man, thug, you don't get over that jive. Like, brush it off." you know, and just, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you know that that person is not in their element, instead of, you know what I'm saying, trying to be so gangster, have a conversation with him, like, you know. And I just feel like he was in regret. You know, he said he wished he would have, you know, cared for him and talked to him and allowed him to be vulnerable. You know, and a lot of black guys,
vulnerability. Oof.
And I'm gonna say, I feel like I want to back up what you're saying, but also like I know someone too who has been in that shoes and has lived with carrying that regret and carrying that burden of not being there for that person. And I want to put this out there because even though I definitely think there's a lot that the community can do to really help each other uplift and help and heal, at the same time, don't put so much of that burden on you. If like definitely be like know that you can't necessarily like if you're in that situation and you find yourself in that situation where somebody did commit suicide and you sitting there thinking like, man, like I should have been there or I should have did this, just know that you can't carry that for the rest of your life. That wasn't all. That's not for you to carry. That's not a weight for you to carry. But
right.
but there are things that we can do in the community to uplift each other.
Definitely we need to have more authentic, transparent support groups, you know, and just have a conversation. You know, like when I worked inside of middle school, I would talk, like, it was this girl, she had autism, but it wasn't like the I'm not correct, but she was very smart. She's very autistic, but she had a form of autism that was mild. And she never opened up, you know, to anyone. And she was like, Miss Hudson, I don't like myself, you know, I don't think I'm pretty. And instead of saying, girl, you know, just saying, girl, you're pretty, this, that, and the third, like I actually like peeled those layers, like why are you thinking like this? Like what triggered this? You know, like we have to talk about things. We have to find our triggers, you know, like don't just have a conversation and be like, it's okay. And like it's an actual problem we have to dig and find so we can,
That's,
you know,
that fake positivity stuff. Ooh.
Yes, like, you know, it's just I'm not for it.
That's so we need to have an open conversation, open dialogue, and dig deeper and ask those questions. That's a good thing that you said that.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, as a community, how we can reach out to people. I feel like it's a reach one, teach one type of thing. See, I have a lot of nieces, and if something was wrong with my nieces, you know, some people feel like, you know, you can't really tell when somebody's going through stuff. I beg to differ. You can. Some people just don't want to see it because they're used to seeing a certain image of somebody. But if you actually sit down and actually pay attention to people and who they are when nobody else is actually around, I feel like you can actually tell, you know, that they're going through something. But if I could, I would know, sit down and talk to the kids around me, you know, especially children, sit down and talk to the kids around me. And if they know what's going on, if you can educate them, they'll be able to educate somebody else. And once they educate somebody else, they'll be able to educate somebody else. We're older and we know, how to, we know how to, I guess, talk about things, be open about things. But if we could get children to be vulnerable, that's going back to that vulnerability, that's not very, common in our community, because for some reason, vulnerability is seen as weak. If we can just try to break people out of that stigma, then, we'll actually get somewhere. So I think it's a reach one, teach one type of thing.
This is a good
comment. Go ahead.
No, absolutely. No, the community or the police are aware of the different mental health problems and how to handle it. And I definitely agree with that. I think the current way in which mental health is handled is just not.
It's not taken seriously.
Can I make a point? I can only just be real. We have to hold the police department to a standard when it comes to Black men being paranoid of the police. If you know that they are paranoid, don't confront them in a certain, you know what I'm saying? Like, be a little bit more understanding of what goes through a Black man's mind psychologically when he's being pulled over. You feel what I'm saying? Like, do they do any type of trainings on that? Like,
if they don't, they should. Like, I feel like sometimes they do it to inflict fear. Like, just do it to inflict fear. It's messed up, man. I don't really like the police department, and let me tell you why. I called a police one time, and they didn't answer the phone. She called me back like 3 minutes later, and even with the thing that I was calling about, if I was in actual danger, I would have been messed up because the police didn't get to my house until like an hour later.
You live in a central location, so
girl, I live down the street from the police station.
Girl.
It's like what, a 3-minute walk, and y'all took an hour to get to my house. I just had to put that out there.
That's why I think it's so important that us, like in the community outside, like we have to uplift each other, because the current systems in place are failing us. They're not doing what they need to do, and it's leading people in the wrong mind. Like, we need to uplift each other, but in order to do that, we have to work on ourselves first. And so,
definitely.
And so that goes to my next question. What do you think we have to do as individuals to raise our vibrations and work on ourselves, our mental health, and what are things that y'all do on a day-to-day basis when you struggle with different things?
Me personally, when I go through my own like range of emotions, I journal. Like, all of my feelings, I journal them. Sometimes if it's a day-to-day thing, I journal, and I also pray. If I get into like one of those modes, I have to pray. Like, I really, really have to pray, whether it's over myself, whether it's the people around me. I have to pray. Like, I really have to pray. And one of the things that also keep me calm is gospel music. I love my music, don't get me wrong. I love the music in the Black community, but sometimes I feel like when I put that stuff in my mind, I feel like it's bringing me down more than it's putting me up. So when I listen to music, gospel music will always uplift me in a higher spirit. So
for me, I would say censor yourself. You know, like, a lot of people in our generation, they don't know how to sit quietly in a room without a phone, just censor themselves with themselves and be comfortable in their own skin. Until you're comfortable in your own skin, you won't be able to help anyone else because you're so busy trying to please everyone else. So that's what I've been learning, definitely, because I know that this world needs more transparency. But you have to be transparent with yourself so you can be comfortable with yourself. And I feel like that's a huge issue, not only in the Black community, but worldwide, but specifically. And social media has been detrimental, with that, because you can go inside your four walls and go on social media and see everyone else paint out this picture perfect life.
Yes.
And you just have to censor yourself and be comfortable in your skin without all of these extra material possessions.
Yes. Social media is most definitely one of those things that will just put you into this weird world where it's not even real. It's just a world, and people will put all types of expectations on you. Like, I see all types of posts that say, if you do this, you're supposed to be here. If you 21, you should be here. You 25, you should be here. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
Yeah, but I agree with all of y'all, like praying and journaling, and I'm learning about myself that different things work for me at different times, and so all of my methods, sometimes you just gotta find a way. And like you were saying, Star, about centering yourself. How do you center yourself? You do those methods that we was talking about with praying or journaling or singing.
Right.
Or whatever it is that's your outlet, you have to find that, because you can't hold all that stuff in. It's gonna make you sick.
Yeah.
Let it go.
And I used to do that. Just like hold stuff in.
Right. We also have to learn how to respect each other's space.
Oh, yes.
Someone going through their little frenzy, just let that person be. Like, we have to have boundaries. Like, personal boundaries is so important, especially in these crazy times we're in. Like,
Mhm.
everybody don't vibe and center themselves in the same way. Like, some people may watch anime, some people may watch a sermon. Just let that person vibe. Like, we have to learn how to have those boundaries and respect each other's
Salute.
boundaries.
Yes. You be fine over religion. Just let people do what they do. They
For
mean
real,
about
for
this.
real.
Let them
Yes.
But we about to be honest, this was such a great topic. Oh my god. But we about to shift gears and we're about to have a special guest come on and give us some fire poetry. And I'm so excited for y'all to meet him. So I think he's about to pop in now. Y'all, I'm introducing Mr. Job English.
Yes.
Hey Job.
Hey, hey y'all, what's going on?
Hey, nice
Hey,
meeting
how are
you.
you?
How you
I'm
doing
doing all right.
today?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing really good. It's a really nice day, you know. Been listening to you ladies, man. Really, really going in, man. It was really good to hear kids talking with some sense and challenging some stuff that I grew up with. Um, that didn't really help me in the long run. So it was really good to
Mhm.
see, people challenging notions and coming to new conclusions. So
Yes, yes. Yes, and we is ready to hear this fire poem. I got to hear this poem at this event
Yes.
called Spitfire in Savannah, and Mr.
Thank
Job
you.
English. Oh,
Yes, thank you for being my first guest. Like, I'm super excited about
yes,
this. So,
we're so
thank you.
excited. Yes. So the floor is
Y'all just want
yours.
me to chip into it?
Yeah, just go ahead.
All right. I came here to leave my haters upbraided through my stains as I updated. See, I upgraded from braided to faded, unaided and shaded, degraded and placated. So I learned how to shine, drop jewels, and never leave jaded. I came here to pop shit like you brought, like your BM out of colostomy. Remember me, I'm the dog that got your broad heart off of monkey bars and apostrophe. Yeah, the air is free, but it costs to breathe with this swagger. I'm moving like Jagger. Not one to brag or shit on their craft, but the fact of the matter is, this is one for the books. I can learn how to cut through the chatter, uppercutting and jabbing, and uppercut you while balance. You better watch for the hook. My chill got him shook. I got my game from the crooks. So you either above the rim or you embrace from the bunks. I came here to make you stop, look, and listen. Drop, dripping, dripping. Javi's on the ball off the cross, you can tip in. The T is real fire, but don't get it twisted. You either spit fire or just zip your lip in. That's it.
Woo!
Period.
period.
Yeah.
So, what inspired you to get into, flowing in that nature? Because I really love open mic sessions. It's a very like expressive form of creativity. So, what inspired you to get into that?
Well, I've been writing poetry since I was 6. Um,
Mm.
and like when you're a kid and you write poetry, it wasn't rap either. It was poetry. I was writing poems. So it was like me and the kid. It came natural. It was just something that I felt compelled to do. Um, and then it kind of grew into it. Being a spoken word artist, that was like an extension. I was lucky enough to meet a man by the name of Clinton D. Powell, the creator of Spitfire Poetry Group, in his later years in life. And I didn't even know that kind of platform existed for poetry. I had no earthly idea. And I met this person, and my life has been categorically changed in another direction just for meeting that one human being.
Mm.
But getting on stage now, and doing it, it just means so much because our people need to hear us in another
Mhm.
light and through another lens, and to be able to
Mhm.
see a black man and a black woman articulate themselves through a craft that is vulnerable but yet powerful, and um not yet taken over and corrupted by corporations and greed. This is like the
Mhm.
last level of avant-garde blackness. This is where blackness is just honest, most honest. You know what I mean? So
Yes. Yes.
just being able to create that platform and have people like Corey over here, like have people like that are just able to get on there and speak some truth that and bring perspectives to the table that you could have never imagined, and do it with such gravitas and such fire, man. It's meant the world to me, in short.
And y'all do it so gracefully, man.
So
It just
crazy.
flows. Yeah.
That poem that he just did, like they did it as a group, the entire Spitfire group, and
Yeah. Oh my
it was
gosh.
Oh yeah.
so powerful. And I just was like, what? Like, oh my goodness, tell them more about Spitfire Saturday because Don and I got to go, and it was a blast.
Yeah, I loved
Oh
it. Like
yeah.
I
So
absolutely loved it. That was the first time I went out there, man. And it was like so great. I was like, what? Y'all really out here doing this?
so yeah, no. Spitfire Saturdays has been like a long standing like show that we offer the community for a very, very, very long time. Um but it's pretty much it started as an open mic. We used to do it at the Music Arts Cafe, but we graduated and turned it into a complete showcase. So those artists in the community can see tiers of excellence in blackness. So we turned it into a showcase and gave it an outside venue, so we could create another level. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so there's open mics and those are great, but to really be able to offer these people a level above an open mic, to where
Yeah.
we can say we see you and you deserve a stage and you deserve to be seen and you deserve to be taken seriously, and we're going to create a platform and see so many black people come out and support that and give
Yeah.
some of our more prolific artists something to aspire to, and some of the ones at the bottom something to see, like, okay, one day I'm going to be on that stage, and for us to be
Yeah.
able to be that stage, that's amazing.
I like
Yes.
how
But
y'all
when we
like
do
gave
uh-huh.
I'm sorry.
hmm
I like how y'all gave you said you give everybody that platform, man. Going out there, you saw somebody on the electric guitar, you saw dancers, they had freaking fireworks. You saw a guy who's out there rapping. Like it was like so amazing
So
that you
cool.
gave black people just a platform to just express themselves no
Yes.
matter what it was. And I love that so
Oh
much.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
And the next
in
one,
different hues of blackness, and different vendors, and different forms that blackness takes, it's awesome to be able to like have that one platform mean that many things to that many types of black people.
mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming onto the platform. We're so excited that you came. And if you guys
Thank you
tuning
so
in
much.
want to go to Spitfire, the next one's February 27th, right, John?
The next, we're actually doing a show tomorrow. We're actually gonna do the open mic version of our show at
Okay,
Island Breeze. So
okay.
we're definitely, if you guys want to come out and catch that vibe, we definitely
I
some
may
of the same
come.
people that,
Yes.
you know what I mean. So if you want to come out, I mean, we got some
What
of the same
time does
people
it
that,
start?
it will be tomorrow at 7. That's when it starts. So tomorrow at 7 at Island Breeze. Myself and my partner Eric Bailey, we're part of a group, E&J Live. So we're gonna definitely bring a lot of energy to that building. And yeah, man, we're gonna have a bunch of fun, man. But it's really awesome, man. I really want to keep up with you guys. So please keep
Yes,
doing
Most
what you're doing.
definitely.
most definitely. All right, you have a good
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you later.
Bye.
day.
That was
That was
great.
so great, y'all.
Yeah.
But let's jump right into our next topic, because time is moving. So, to get more into the entertainment size, a hot topic about an artist, songwriter, Danny Lee, and the comments she has made. So basically, Danny Lee, who went public with her relationship with the baby, and the baby is a rapper, recently included as unreleased track Yellowbone. So she made a song called Yellowbone, and she released it, a preview of it on her Instagram. She deleted the post, but the caption for it referenced one of the lyrics, Yellowbone, that's what he want, with the baby seemingly being the he she was talking about. So she received a lot of backlash from the community, and people were commenting on the post, tell her to take it down. And she was like, she just responded, was like, well, why I can't make a song for my light skinned baddies? Why y'all think I'm hating on other colors when there are millions of songs speaking types? Why y'all so sensitive and why y'all taking it so personal? God D. So, what are y'all thoughts about this? Because I know that colorism in the Black community is real. It has to cease, because we're trying to support everyone collectively. So, what are y'all opinions on that? Should she be canceled, or what's your thoughts?
Cancel.
Straight up canceled. I don't know.
I don't know if I'm ready to. I would say I can give her grace in the sense that I don't know what her full motive or intention was behind it, but what she failed to realize is that this colorism is so deep in our community that light skinned people have been held on a pedestal for so long against dark skin. So yeah, you're starting to see a lot of songs and music that celebrate in dark skin, but that's not to say like her comment about why can't she say that, but it comes down to the fact that it's in the history of it,
Right.
and like it's the way it came off. It could be read as that you're putting light skinned people on the pedestal, but at the same time, I don't really know her full intention, so I'm not going to cancel her right out. But I think depending on how she moves forward and if she learns something from this experience.
I think I don't think she meant to do it. I feel like, she probably just did it to make herself feel good, most definitely. But I feel like it just kind of made her, show what she's insecure about, because the baby has dark skinned kids. His baby mama that we all know he ain't leaving is dark skinned. So I just feel like she kind of just did it. It's not to say that she's a bad person. I just feel like she kind of just let her insecurities out at that point. And that was probably something she should have kept in her, that album of stuff that you don't really. Yeah.
So she did say, a lot of artists make millions of songs on different types. So do you believe that we should start holding everyone accountable, especially men, because they are really big on light skin, dark skin? I think that's who really who started all of this, really. Well, not start all of it, but you know what I'm saying? Entertain it the most. So should we hold the men, as accountable as we did with Danny Lee, because everyone was just so quick to attack her, but so many other artists have songs, about sexuality.
I feel like we should, hold men accountable, but I feel like men should hold themselves accountable.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes, for real. There's only so much that we can say, but what does a man think? They should hold themselves accountable. Right. Every time some of that stuff, because we held Danny Lee accountable when she did that. We held her accountable. I'm pretty sure she kind of did herself, but who's holding men accountable other than women?
Exactly. That's another topic we can get into. Another topic in itself. But she came out and apologized. So because cancel culture is really real in the industry, so people have to be careful, because being blackballed in the industry is a thing. So she apologized. So we're gonna give her some grace, but I guess she's claiming to be black now because if you're light skinned, you're black. But last I checked, she wasn't black. But we're just gonna give our sister some grace and let her in her moment, because she just feeling her because she with the baby. So
right.
She just feeling herself.
Yes. And then I know with the baby, she done gained so many followers. Everybody's watching her now. Because I remember Danny Lee was barely anybody before she started dating the baby.
Girl, those are facts.
So really quickly, since we're talking about, women holding, each other accountable, what is it something that, women can do to protect themselves, and not even just, through social media and stuff like that, just walking on the everyday streets, how can we protect ourselves from predators, from stalkers, from people who are just, it feels like they're just out to get us for some reason when we just walking down the street being ourselves.
Well, you can go first, Dom. I have a story.
I was gonna say, I think being very aware and of your surroundings. A lot of times because of our phones and stuff, we be so stuck in our phones that we're not aware of what's happening around us. And I think that it's very important that you look up from your phone, especially if you walking, especially if you walk and is walking is your commute, or or even a drive, like walking to your car, like like you gotta be aware of your surroundings, and that I feel like is the best way you can protect yourself. Um,
It was an app that I heard of where you can put in they can track your location. You know that?
It's an app, and actually, if you have now the phones are being made where there's already an emergency function on your phone. So if you have a newer phone, you should definitely look at the settings of your phone and find that emergency.
Double tap or hold the lock button down, right? Something like that.
Yeah. So and alert the authorities to your location right then and there. So that's I think that's the best.
Yeah, and just watch your surroundings and make sure, if you're walking, if you live in a central location, make sure people don't know where you live at. Try to keep that as possible. Be careful, the pictures you're taking from which angle, because people are really creepy.
Yeah. Right, and location and stuff. That's another thing. Like so many apps now track your location. You can share your location with people, but be careful doing that, because you don't want to be telling people, "Oh, I'm on vacation and my house empty," or I'm here. I'm this way. Well, I know people I was raised to, when I go on vacation, we don't even say we on vacation till we come back.
Yeah.
So sometimes that's the best way to protect you too, because you don't want this location stuff. It's real.
It's crazy. And I know a lot of celebrities, say for instance, they'll be at a bar and they'll take a picture. They won't post a picture until they leave the bar. They may be on the airplane. They won't post that picture of them on the airplane until they actually reach their destination. You feel what I'm saying? People are really creepy, and they will wish bad upon you and all. So you just have to really think like that, not be paranoid. Just think.
Yeah. Most definitely. I feel, I had an experience where I was on my way to class, broad daylight now, and I was, this is my regular routine, so I didn't think anything of it. And I get to the corner and I'm about to bust the corner, and I saw a guy and I saw him watching me, but I look good, so people are always watching me. So I didn't think nothing of it until I start walking 3 blocks down, and this guy, he's still watching me, but I'm still on my phone, I'm still texting. I really wasn't paying attention. I saw him, but I wasn't paying attention until I got to the 5th block. And this lady stopped me. She said, she's like, hey, I want you to look up, because I've been watching this guy watch you for 3 blocks. So I need you to look up, because I don't know. He just bent the corner. I don't know what's going on. But I need you to look up and pay attention. And it kind of scared me. I was near the building that I was going to, so I didn't, I wasn't really that scared anymore, but I didn't touch my phone until I got to my actual destination, because I was so scared. And I've had experiences where I've had a stalker before, and it is not a good feeling to see somebody just watching you, so obsessed with you. And it scares me. It scares me a lot, So I was always looking for tips on how I can protect myself and how I can, be more aware of my surroundings. Like Dom said, stay off my phone because I love my phone and I'm always on my phone.
Right.
I think that's a good tip to pay attention. Just pay attention to your surroundings. People say, "Oh, because you're a SCAD student, nobody's gonna mess with you." That don't mean nothing. That does not mean nothing. I've heard so many stories at this school of people who got like sexually harassed or stuff like that. So I don't because I'm a SCAD student does not mean anything.
Right. And I found the app. So it's called Moonlight, and like moon, but with an N, Moonlight. And you download the app, and it's a button that you're gonna hold. And you're gonna hold it the entire time you're walking, and you have like your family or friends, and they watching you. And so the moment that you get home, they know you safe. But the moment that you stop on that button, they know something wrong, and it automatically call the police. So that's the app that I was talking about.
So on a more serious note, because we're about to go ahead and wrap up, so I want to talk about something that has happened in our country, and I just want to alert everyone out there, because everyone doesn't watch the news, pay attention to all of these latest articles. So basically, the U.S. Department of National Security, Homeland Security, put out a warning. The feds are putting the entire country on high alert, warning of a looming domestic terrorism threat from groups pissed about President Biden's victory and several other issues related to COVID-19. For the first time, the Department of Homeland Security issued a federal bulletin about Americans plotting to attack Americans, saying there's a potential threat of ideologically motivated violent extremists. The feds feel these domestic terrorists may be emboldened by the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, so they want the country to be on watch for the next coming weeks of possible domestic attacks. So I just want everyone to be careful out there. Listen, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security put out this high alert. So they know something we don't know. They know something the media isn't showing. And a lot of these white people, they have ammunition. I don't know. It's something going on. The feds tapping into something that's going on that we don't know about. So y'all just pray and stay covered and be safe, because not everyone is happy about this election.
And I was actually talking to one of my professors the other day, and he was just telling me, he was like, I want to give you some fatherly advice. Right now is the best time to save your money, because we don't know, white guy. He's like, we don't know what's going to happen. He was like, we have to prepare for another, shutdown. So please save your money and do the best that you can. Stock up as much as you can, because we just don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
So, yeah.
But that brings us to the end of the show, y'all.
Yes, thank y'all.
I enjoy everything about this show. The energy was great. We talked about a lot of great things. Thanks to our guest, Jai, for coming and spitting his fire.
Most definitely.
Thank you.
So, that's about it. Make sure you share this video, repost, tell your friends, family members about us. We come on every Saturday at 1:00 p.m. Eastern. Let's talk about it. And if you have any topics that you would like for us to discuss, be sure to just send us a message. My Instagram is at Stardacia.
My Instagram is at Dawn King with 3 underscores behind it.
And my Instagram is at Melanique with an underscore before and after.
And shout out to All Things Relevant Media. And I hope y'all stay tuned for everything that this channel has in store.
Most definitely. See you guys next week. Please tune in with us. Please, please, please.
Invite your friends, everybody.
Everybody. We're gonna get this thing running.
Hey, that's good.